As you load into the Sea of Thieves world to get ready to partake in some PvP, there are a few things you need to do. In short, you need to supply up, but in this video I'm going to show you everything you can do to get yourself the most amount of supplies in the shortest amount of time, so you can spend more time fighting and less time preparing. Let's get into it. So this works with every single boat, but for the sake of this video, I'm showing you on a solo sloop because I want to get out there and PvP on my own. First of all, get your emissary that you choose, whether it be your Athena emissary or your Reaper emissary. Go ahead and get yourself a storage crate, some cannonballs, and some wooden planks. Be wary, sometimes when you go to buy these, they won't show up, so when claiming them, take your time, wait for them to appear in your hand, and just go slow. You don't overly need food, because bananas really aren't going to help you, and this strategy gives you a bunch of food that are going to be around the likes of pineapples, mangoes, and other things. As you can see, grab this and then move on to the next step. Now, grab your storage crate and go ahead and loot up every single barrel at the island. Sounds simple, sounds mundane, sounds basic, but trust me, you need to do it. You'll notice the amount of supplies that you get from doing this will be about double the basic supply setup, so not great, but definitely more than you had when you started. Now, the reason I say you need to do these things before going into a battle is because I cannot tell you the amount of times I have lost a battle due to a war of attrition. Supplies are important. Like it or not, you need them to fight, you need them for longevity, and the last thing you want is to be toe-to-toe with someone who is equally as skilled as you and lose on the account of not having enough supplies, or maybe even worse, having a 2-hour battle because no one has the supplies to sink each other. After raiding every single crate on an island, you're gonna want to go ahead and head on over to the shipwright, assuming you are on a captain's ship, and have a look at the supplies and captain's voyages. From here, you will need to buy one set of everything, aside of course from the meat and the worms. You can choose to go ahead and get the meat and grubs if you really want to, but for the sake of getting right into it, it's not worth it. You waste money, and it's just not worth the time, in all honesty. After a quick clean of the island, you will find you will have around double the amount of supplies you started with. On top of that, an extra 50 cannonballs, an extra 50 wood crate, and if you are a captain, you'll also find the captain's supplies in your barrels as well, which give you just a little bit more, but you're not done. There's one last thing you need to do, and it won't take that long at all. From that point on, you're going to want to find yourself the closest fortress to you. Usually fortresses are within a 5-minute sail away from any outpost around the map, so locate the closest fortress, head on over there, and unload your supplies into your barrels. While sailing to the fortress, the next thing you want to do is set up your boat ready for combat. First of all, with your cannonball crates, place them towards the middle of your cannons so they are easily accessible. With the wood crate, take it to the bottom level of your ship, somewhere that is easy to grab, and bail. Really, really close, really, really effective. That's what you want. On the final step, with the storage crate, you're going to want to store everything you have in the crates, and then organize them in a specific manner. What you want to do is have the least amount of junk, and by junk I am accounting flares, fireworks, and other miscellaneous things like that, in a separate barrel that you're not going to use. With the food, you're going to want to do the same thing. Store all your useful food, and that will exclude things like bait and bananas. You really don't need bananas in a barrel. 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to have a lot more supplies than bananas, and they're going to do you a lot better. So things like pineapples, mangoes, all that need to go into the top barrel. People do not understand the importance of a well-organized barrel. Having something well organized like this is great, because what you can essentially do is grab anything randomly and just know that whatever you've got on you is going to be useful for the fight. This also works for food as well. You can go into anything here, grab something at a quick succession, and you'll have good food. Really useful. It'll save you 1 to 2 seconds per battle, but honestly, those 1 to 2 seconds could be really crucial. Once you have arrived at your sea fortress, grab yourself the empty storage crate and head on to the island. There are certain specific things you are looking for. You don't want to go for every single barrel, assuming you want to minimize the amount of time you're going to have not fighting. You're going to want to head to the level I'm on now and locate every single cannonball barrel. Inside of these cannonball barrels, you will have around 50 cannonballs per barrel, which means you can get around 150 cannonballs in under 2 minutes. Now, I don't even need to explain to you how important it is having a large amount of cannonballs, because they are your main form of artillery. Unloading shots will sink an enemy, and of course sinking an enemy will get yourself the win. You can now choose to stock up from every other barrel you choose around the island if you want to, or the fortress I should say, if you want to. Every other barrel will have food and very, very small amounts of planks in them. They're not as essential as you did already supply up, but if you are playing with a larger crew amount, like the galleon or of course the brig, I'd say at this point you're going to want to focus on things like getting every other barrel. Either way, the more time you spend here, the more time you supply up, the more supplied you will be, and the quicker your fights should theoretically end. Don't forget as well, these little barrels that hang over the edge do have supplies in them too, so you can use them for extra supply needs. When I get on the boat, I'm going to show you what I got from literally 2 minutes of work. It's simple, but I've gotten myself over 100 cannonballs, a bunch of food, and some chain shots, and some throwables. From this point on, you are ready to go into the fight. As you enter the battlefield, or before you enter the battlefield, you're gonna want to make sure you have supplies on you. This storage crate is very useful. I like to leave all of the supplies in the second stock up here. That way I can quickly grab it from any point of my ship. I can quickly grab planks if needed, I can quickly grab cannonballs if needed, and I can quickly grab food as well. Either way, everything I need will be on my top deck next to my cannonballs, and of course, ready to use. So, I guess with that being said, that's everything I recommend you need to do before getting into a battle. Being supplied up and knowing the easiest way to supply will help you a lot in the future. So hopefully, if you use this tactic and this video helps you, you decide to leave a like and support the channel. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, let me know. Subscribe for more Sea of Thieves content, and with that being said, I'm going to catch you all in the next video. Goodbye for now.